Disclaimer, this podcast discusses mental health. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you're struggling with your mental health, please remember it's okay to ask for help and seek the appropriate help through a qualified healthcare professional.
Welcome back to the podcast where we ask the question, what makes you happy? My name is Jake Pearson, and our guest today is a travel education specialist who helps curious people create more meaningful wanderings. Erica Forrest from Seattle, Washington, United States. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me, Jake. I'm really happy to be here.
I am super excited to be here. And I just must say, I am in love with your bookshelf behind you.
Oh, I think
that is an incredible sight. Yeah. So, Erica, thank you for coming on the show to share what makes you happy. Please tell me and tell us, what does make you happy?
Well, I think that there are quite a few things that make me happy, but one of them is striving to be fully present and awake to the moment that I'm in. Things that make that easier for me are being with people that I love, being in nature, and traveling. Another thing that I do to be happy is really try to be of service. I know that's something, throughout history, people have recognized brings us a lot more happiness. And so I've been really fortunate. I've gotten to be a teacher and I've gotten to volunteer in a lot of ways. And the company that I have right now is really focused on making quality travel education resources easily available to people. So really being of service, especially when you're kind of in your darker times and you're having a challenging time, being happy, doing something to help someone else. And that can be as simple as a smile on the street or cooking something nice for someone that you love, just doing your best to make the world a little bit better. And another thing I do to be happy is I'm always trying to grow and learn. And sometimes, finding things that are like manageable challenges. As a teacher, you want to help somebody get to a point where they're just ready for the next thing. It's not going to be too hard, but it's not too easy, and they can enjoy the joy of learning something. So within the last 5 years, I've been learning guitar, and not very good at it, but it's so fun. And I really enjoy studying foreign languages. Also, not very good at it at all, but my brain, you can almost feel those neurons connecting, and it just feels fantastic.
That's wonderful. And it's not about being very good at it, is it?
Right.
It's just about enjoying it and
exactly.
finding happiness. And I have a guitar that I have somewhere in my background. And although, like yourself, I may not be very good at it, all I did was go on YouTube and pick up 4 or 5 basic riffs that I can play through. So every time I pick that guitar up, I can make something sound okay, and then I put it back down again. I'm cool. I feel great.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. It feels wonderful.
Now, you're out traveling, you're out wandering, you're out exploring, and you come across a stranger who is doing the same thing, but they look like they're a bit down. So you get, and have a conversation with them and passing by, and they come up and they sort of mention that they're struggling with their happiness. Mm-hmm. What do you say to them in that?
One of the things, especially in traveling, that I think is a beautiful part of helping us be happier is that you have all these opportunities to really see yourself in this bigger context. So like here in the United States, the Grand Canyon, or at an archaeological site, or camping and looking up at the vast cosmos. To feel yourself in that spectrum of time and space really puts a lot of things in perspective. If you're frustrated somebody's treating you a certain way, or, that you got cut off while you were driving, from those perspectives, none of that carries nearly the same amount of weight. And you can really kind of use that to give yourself a solid value-based grounding to choose how to be happy. But we can take that traveler mindset and use it in our backyard or down the street. So I think we don't have to be limited by our, time and money that we have available to travel, to take that way of seeing the world.
Wonderfully said. And I think that's something that I try to apply to my life. I could do a better job at, just thinking, okay, I could be walking down the street and I'm not at the beach, but maybe how can I make the most of, just going to the coffee shop?
Yes.
relax that posture, smile a bit more, talk about
Yes.
things you're grateful for, and just try to change your energy. You're in control of that, right?
I really know that for most of the time that is true for most of us. I know sometimes it is beyond what someone might be able to do in the moment. That's why it's great we have professionals, but it's also something we can be cultivating in our mind at all times, so that when we're really hit with things that life throws at us, we can be as present and happy as we can be.
Lovely said. Erica, it has been an absolute pleasure to talk about all things wandering, travel, happiness. We really do appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. We hope it gives you something to think about on your quest to discover what makes you happy. Make sure to check out whatmakesyouhappypodcast.com to connect with today's guest and follow us on all our social media platforms, and to stay up to date at what's happening next at What Makes You Happy. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend, and we'll see you next time.